Chapter 11. 8. Ys you are listening at novel full.audio. A year has passed since I and Chief became magic apprentice and teacher respectively. I became 8. Ys and Giselle became 6. Ys. At first it was hard for me to talk with Chief, but now I've completely used to it. What should I say, somehow I managed to get how to treat this tsundere grandfather. Philo's mother also laughed smilingly with a smile, said that, lately, he talks only about you. With a happy face. Abel, it's been a while since your last visit. Let me see, how much you have improved. Yes. Recently Chief was busy preparing rituals, as my magic level has risen, the frequency of seeing my training was decreased. Today, first time after a week he accompanied me for my magic training. Every time I practice, Giselle accompanies me as if natural. Giselle also somewhat imitates me in practicing magic, but it is almost always accompanied. Incidentally, Philo was kicked out by the chief. I think he should treat his granddaughter a little more careful, but in fact she come out with strange talks and gets in the way of training, so I am thankful. Draw on, I stretched my hands in the air, borrowed the power of the spirit and draw the magic circle. After finishing one drawing, start drawing the second one. Fyun, can you draw too and handle it? Do not show me any pathetic practice. It was a spiritual tone on the top of the Buddha face, but his hands were fidgeting. It seems to be expecting. I cannot fail this. This time is practicing to manipulate Odom with magic. It is necessary to embed in the magic circle what kind of action to do. Therefore, understanding of the magic circle is indispensable for making magic and complicated movements. It is a thing that cannot be done by my father who said that we should only need to remember the magic circles. Nonetheless, it is possible to determine the trajectory of movement is a small part of the magic circle, it can be done even without deep understanding to that far. In short, the practice of freely manipulating Odom is the first step of practicing magic circles by creating yourself. Although it is impossible to state yourself a wise man, to the extent of manipulating the Odom. Grab the doll while chanting I stretched my right hand towards Odoms. From my hand light emits and the light goes into the Odoms. The moment the light enters, the Odom starts to move. One moves in a forward direction and the other moves in the backward direction. Then, each spins around themselves. Ho, it seems that you examined well, not just simple movements, but also to be able to incorporate until rotation. The chief delightedly voiced out. Not yet, it starts from here. I further draw a third magic circle in the air. Ere this hand I chant towards one of the Odom. From my hand released magic power changes to wind ball, according to the magic circle it fly towards spinning Odom. Odom, which is spinning with kurukuru, stopped moving as the ball of wind approached and quickly avoided it. Because the magic power of the wind kept to minimum, when at the wall it easily dissolved. With guitar-y sound, the chief stood up. No way, I never thought that you would embed corresponding action type incorporated into the magic circle. Normally the chief who would not surprised by anything, raised a loud voice. Because Giselle knew in advance, she is looking at the chief with a proud face. Doya.Gao, proud face, is also cute too. My brother is proud to have my sister proud. Why? The corresponding action, I did not teach you yet, right? When I tried a lot of things, I found a part that clicked about a bit by chance, so I tried to examine it. Even if I said by chance, it is a result that I kept trying for almost a week without going to bed for a week. I tried various forms of magic circles and continued patiently testing the conditions when magic acted and not. It is the gift of my obsession. Well, good, you've done so far. It's already the area of a top magician. Even without teaching by me, Abel would be able to devote himself by self-education. I never thought he could grow this far in just 1 year. The voice of the chief struck. When I look at him closely, he is shedding tears. Chief. Sama. When I called him, the chief wiped away tears with his sleeves. I did not cry. It was just dust in my eyes. After all, he is Philo's grandfather, to be same in such places. But, if there is no one who will teach me. In future, I allow you to take books from the library, take home anything you like in the library. If I teach you poorly, I might stop the growth of Abel. You have both talent and guts. Until now he would not allow me to see the books because they were expensive, but at last that ban was lifted. I am happy to be honest with that. The way the chief said it was a little lonely. Recently Chief took good care of me in many ways, despite putting his granddaughter Philo aside. I also feel lonely when I think that it is the last time Chief sees my training like this. If I had advice, could I come occasionally? Occasionally, maybe I may not think about it. As usual, it is not a straightforward grandfather. When I barely laughed, the chief gently laughed while diverting his face. Well, may I borrow 4 odoms in the room? What do you want to use them? No, I wanted them to carry few books. I choose 4 big ones from among the odoms in my room. After I chant, I draw 4 magic circles in the air. Well, how was the path to the library? Walls can be avoided if I apply corresponding actions, and I can use them with a simple instructions. If by chance their movement stopped, I can recast magic circles and cast spells again. When I chanted, 4 odoms started to move. Yep, 10 volumes of books can be loaded on 1 odom. Odom super useful. For a while, it seems I need to a research of magic circles which moves odom. Well then, I'm going to borrow some books. Abel, I said certainly that you could borrow, but how many books are you planning on taking home? For the time being, about 3 round trips today. What? Are you going to borrow over 100 books? Would it be bad? However, I want to be able to form magic circles from scratch with my own power soon. To do so, knowledge is overwhelmingly insufficient. Chapter 12. 9.Ys Old, 1, you are listening at Novel Full.audio. A year has passed since I was recognized as a top-class magician by the chief. I am now 9.Ys old and Giselle 7.Ys old. Recently, I need to do more things like to help, such as hunting, and the time spent on magic practice has decreased sharply. I do not like the shallow understanding of my father's magic. I am trying many things to let Odom hunt instead of me, but it is not going as I planned. It is difficult to incorporate the corresponding actions until it makes the hunt smoothly. It is possible if I stick to the side of Odom and continue reworking magic, but after all it takes time and it is totally overwhelming. There seems to be a way to have simulated intelligence, but in this settlement there is overwhelmingly lacking of materials. Someday I will leave this settlement and get more knowledge and want to do various things. No, I could devote myself to practicing magic so far because the entertainment was small in this settlement. Unexpectedly, if I go out into town, my magic arms may wane at a stroke. In the first place, it seems that Marin tribe is basically decided that it should not leave this settlement. Apparently the village of the Marin tribe seems to be a hidden village of the ninja in Japan. When a major incident such as war occurred in the country, it is said that the royal family send messengers and the Marin tribe to participate in it. It seems that it is a secret weapon of the country. From knowing some circumstances, it is called a magical troupe as a group manipulating dubious magic and eerie dolls and is fearful. However, it seems the last time a request for participation was about nearly 100 years ago. Many Marin families now use magic only in spiritual techniques, ceremonies, fortune-telling and divinations. In the old days more magic was flourishing but now completely waned. That's what the chief complaining. I also think that I should have been born in a time when the wearing times. Because now it is peaceful time, I do not know I am saying because of this peaceful time. To be honest, I have no intention of living in this settlement for the rest of my life. There are neither golem nor alchemy materials here. As I read books, there are various things in this world. I would like to make more authentic chimera and homunculus. I cannot be satisfied with just Odom alone. Because I was isolated from the world, my magic skills may be delayed considerably. When I think about that, I cannot sit or stand still. There should be another place to make use of magic rather than such a closed place. Ni-sama, Father-sama calls you for hunting. I take my eyes off the book and turn my face towards the voice. Giselle was standing with an apologetic face. Fyun. I do not think I have any talent there. I'm confident that at least I can use magic to hunt more prey than anyone else, but my father insists on using the bow to the end. It is better to remember this way of using, it will be useful with some things, he said. My father has a hard head. Even from the history of Marin tribe, the time when hunting was done with magic is supposed to be longer. From Chief's story, it seems that the bow was a weapon possessed by an inexperienced person who could not use magic well until about 80 years ago. It is now totally peaceful times blurred that sense. Now it is said that those who hunt with magic is a strange ones, or it is said to be dangerous if they go on rampage. When I was young, my father and mother were delighted when I showed interest in magic, but, recently they are trying to separate me from magic in some way. Surely, it probably went over such a line a long time ago. A lighter is convenient if it is present, but flame radiators are not needed for ordinary households. It is a slightly exaggerated expression, in other words, it is such a thing. That I have awareness, but I do not feel like stopping my feet now. In this world, I have lived in magical practice all the time. If I deny it this time, my life will remain only my little sister Giselle. It feels like it is not bad, but I do not plan to forsake magic in any way. When I finished reading this chapter, I'll get ready. While I saying, I will drop my eyes to the book again. Giselle laughed as if she was amazed by it, and she looks into the book from the side. Giselle looking inside the book opens her mouth. What are these characters? REI letters, it is only this that wrote about the meaning of the figure of the magic circles. What I am getting right now is also esoteric in magical books. REI letters, special characters dedicated to magic books are used. REI letters put together what should be represented by plural letters as one character, if it is usual. There is something a bit wonderful if it goes well, but there is something close to the shorthand technique in the previous life. Each character has a considerable amount of information packed, so at the time of mastering REI letters, you have a lot of knowledge about magic. Incidentally, it is only on letters, there are no pronunciations. Originally, if you describe magic circles in detail, it cannot be said in very few books. It is this magic book that makes it possible to forcibly make it by giving information amount to each letter. You may think that I do not have to put it in a single piece to go that far, but remembering REI letters itself can also become training magic. Focusing ability and ability to organize information is the basic ability of magic. It takes time to remember all of them, but once you mastered it completely, you will be able to dramatically increase the amount of knowledge you can stuff from your books in your life. By the way, my father knew about the existence of the REI characters, so I decided to ask the chief to teach them. At first it was likely to be misrepresented by a simple version of REI letters, but I decided to clench my teeth and decided to learn official REI letters somehow. Around a year now, the basics of REI letters has become almost readable. At this pace it seems that it will take over 5 years to completely master the application, but it seems miraculous speed even at this pace. Oh, Abel, there you are. Giselle should have called you a long time ago. Father came out of the house. My father spit sigh when he found Giselle is beside me. Really, Giselle is sweet towards her older brother. Did he found out? I checked the number on the page, then closed the book. I am really sorry Father-sama, but my brother is magic. While I getting up, I stretched my hand towards Giselle and controlled her words. I am really sorry, I read only incomplete page, unintentionally. Giselle pulls her eyebrows and sees me unhappily. I feel like I want to complain towards my father, but it's also important to build physical fitness. I am growing up right now and it cannot be just my hobbies. Chapter 13. 9. Years old, 2, you are listening at Novel Full. Audio. One day, I was shivering on my own bed. It was around the time that the sun had risen high in the sky, but I do not think I will leave from here. While I clung to the blanket, I put my hand on my forehead. My head is hot. It's a sensation that my brain is melting. First time since 9. Years, I tasted a dense death sign. My consciousness is not clear. Ni-sama, get it together, Ni-sama. Giselle calls out to me. However, it is useless. Giselle's pretty beautiful face also looks blurry now. I was not feeling well this morning and I could not eat breakfast. I told my mother about that and made her prepare goat's milk to warm, but as soon as I drank it, the inside of my stomach came up and vomited. I fell down as it is, I was carried to the bed and that's how now the situation. As I thought, I was a little sick a few days ago. Everything might have been a sign of this. In the meantime, it was a mistake that I continued magic research for 3 days and nights trying to get back the time taken by my helping hand with hunting and agriculture. No, I should think that it was up to now and that all of it was the cause. All-nighter, it is not unusual. Maybe, my own nutritional drink was useless. After all, I should not have used that herb. Maybe poison removing was not perfect. No, maybe I was cursed because I made 3 squirrels with biological magic. As I thought, I should not have placed my hands on that magic after all. That was a blasphemy to the creature, it was rebellion against God. It was not a good range that humans should place hands. Sorry, God, I will never use biological magic. So, please forgive me already. Wow, spirit of our ancestors, forgive me. I lift my heavy arms and cut a cross in the air. Ni-sama. Giselle cries and embraces my shoulder. Giselle. I'm sorry, when I thought now. I am selfish about myself, I could not do anything like a brother. I was an useless brother. If I had a little sister in my previous life, I wonder if it was a bit different. No, that's not all. I also think about my father and mother. The existence of parents who stay at home all the time for me to watch over me more than Marin's culture was hardly familiar to me. Even ordinary baby do not know such things, but it was natural for me. As there are existing values, it was a start from minus instead of 0. Perhaps it was because this my ideal is different from my father, if I think about it. It's not like that. Please do not say such a thing as giving up. Because it's about my body, I understand. I will die, o.org, ni.sama, nii.sama. Please get it together. However, my parents were unexpectedly cold, although I was in such a condition. It's only a cold, that's why I said to you, you should train your body from day to day. My father stands up by saying that, sighing as he was amazed. Is this, just a cold? There cannot be such a thing. My body is so hot, painful, gaho. Yes, I also have a cough. It is serious. Father.sama, ni.sama. It's a cold. Will not he say other than that, my father? Far from cold, I am going to become wind. It's because you pushed yourself in this cold period. I just doped with medicine and stayed up all night for 3 days. The room was also properly warmed by magic. Anyway, just a cold cannot be this painful so far. But, Father.sama. I have properly placed odom which avoids sickness, it cannot be a cold. It is because you depend solely on odom, it is just a prevention, but after catching a cold it will be useless. Your body will be weakened, because you always confined in your room. I place 10 odoms that avoid sickness, this is not a sickness, it must be someone who is jealous of my talent. It seems, it is a curse from around Philo. I surely is. Philo was a grandpa's girl. Because the chief taught to me by chance, it is possible that there is a line that jealous of me. Yes, I cannot think of anything else. If I can recover safely, let's study seriously about protection techniques against magic. So many odoms that avoid sickness. Well, but, that was beyond that, and it was probable that you were intolerant. That's why, this is, not just a cold. I see, then I go hunting, for the time being rest well for now. If I stay as it is, I am going to be resting under the soil all the while. The art of sickness scattering is already hung up, and you will be recovered to some extent by the sun goes down. Let's have a little white soup of ingredients for tonight, Father Sama. When the sun goes down, I will be already gone forever. If you learn from this, you should be a little more mature. By saying that father left the room. How cold, is that what you call the family? Even though your son was in the depths of death, was not those eyes that looked like a brat after caught a cold into stirring excessively? No, I was magic crazy up to now. For my parents who saw magic as part of ceremonies and education, only substitute for electric appliances, I guess I was such a strange existence. My father also did not show such a thing, but it seems that he might have been creepy about me. Unexpectedly, tears came out. I spent too much time trying to master magic, which was not useful in this peaceful times, and I may have lost something important. What happened? Sama, do you have a headache? Shall I change the wet towel? No, only Giselle will take care of me like this, even if I was in the edge of death. Even with that, I bet that I am very happy person. Without Giselle, I should have been lonely and dead alone in this world. She was a nice little sister to me. I am fine, I am sorry for making you feel bad. But, when I thought that I was about to die. Suddenly, I am getting lonely. Note. Where do you, Abel, get this much stamina to speak? Please do not say that you will die. What should I do, if Sama dies? I reached out to stroke Giselle's head, but my hand was strangely heavy. The head of Giselle, right there, seemed much far away. Oh, I will die. This time, I will die. Hand, can I hold your hand? Yes. Yes. Please. Giselle takes my hand. Giselle's hand was a small pretty hand as her age. I grasped the hand of Giselle weakly and stroked her hand back with my thumb. I am sorry for only cared about magic. Giselle, I love you. I say so, lose to the weight of the eyelids and closed my eyes. Hi. Sama. No, oh. The scream of Giselle reverberates in the room. While listening to that, my consciousness went off. After 10 hours, I was sitting on the dining table chair. Are you able to eat? My father asks me. Yes, I am fine, I still have little feverish. In conclusion, it was just a cold. Apparently the Marin tribe seems to have an immune tendency towards weak constitution. Although they are rarely sick because they have prevention with magic, it seems that even if just happens to caught cold, it will be quite effective. It's good that Sama seems to have recovered. Mao, if by any chance if something happened, what should I do? My chest pains. I completely made Giselle worried about me. Should I say, I feel like I said some strange things with fever. When I think about it, Philo.Sama came to visit, at that time Sama was asleep, so I made her leave. I see. Philo, I am sorry to doubt you. To be honest, I do not remember much, but I feel like I made many false charges with my headache. I am really sorry father and mother for various things. It seems before curse, as I thought I should work on sick and disease countermeasures firmly. Chapter 14 11.YRS Old, 1, you are listening at novel full.audio. Another 2.YRS have passed. I am already 11.YRS old and Giselle is 9.YRS old. Before, when I caught the cold, in the heat of the moment I swore in my heart that I should stop magic training at once. But after passing the hurdle I totally forgotten about it. When I think about it, it was not more than next day. Today too, I was doing my best at practicing magic. I already exceeded the chief in some fields of magic. The limits are beginning to appear in what I can do here. As I thought, I should know about the world outside. I must not stay in this village. Recently, I sometimes feel such things. Abel. Let's go hunting, Abel. Get out, you social withdrawal. My father hits the door of my room. However, it is useless. There is a solid barrier put on my room. It is impossible to release from the outside unless it is same class as chief. It is bad for my father, but I have decided to withdraw for several days to study magic. Since I knew that there is magic in this world, there is magic that I had wanted to use someday. It was completed up to 80%. I want to finish it at once. My determination is hard. I am really sorry, I am busy right now. If it's hunting I will lend you an odom if you want. That's right, I succeeded in developing a magic circle which can let odom hunting. Since I incorporated a number of complicated responses to the magic circle, it can respond to simple commands such as, come with me, or wait. Since it only takes action in response to voice, I can add any number of instructions depending on the magic circle. If made the arms larger in advance and make the joints move, it can even shoot arrows from the bow. Because I made it possible to move efficiently with less magical power, it will be able to move for 5 hours after giving magical power. The precision of archery is also high, so much that it does not oppose the user. It should be much more useful than a single child. When I showed this magic circle to the chief, he was delighted by saying, Shinduja. Abel is a Shinduja. Recently, the chief seems to use this magic circle as well. Just because the magic circle is complicated and it is difficult to adjust the magical power, it seems that people other than the chief cannot use. Abel, that's not the problem. How many times should I tell you to understand? Do not disturb my concentration as I am now in the process of an important magic study. Unfortunately, if you hit the door any further, I will use the soundproof magic as it is. Giselle is missing you too. It is a lie. I said to Giselle that I will withdraw beforehand for about 3 days. Giselle is a good girl who can endure. While I say it, I take out a wooden cane. Magic can be raised in accuracy and power by using this wand. This wooden cane is what I made. It is engraved with magical powers and it is able to transcribe the magic circle to the air without chanting. This can save a lot of time. Originally, when I made this I thought that I did very well. The chief said, a wand that incorporates a transfer technique is a common type. It was truly wonderful that you made it on your own. Although it was a bit frustrating, it is reasonable to incorporate the transcription technique that forms the basis of most magic. It is not strange even if someone doing other than me. At the same time I was convinced that I wanted to see the world outside of the village again, I thought so strongly. Well then, let's add soundproofing to the barrier that covers the room quickly and block it completely from the outside. That I swiftly swung the small wand and created a magic circle. It's true. That Giselle was crying. She is saying that it is painful to not able see Abel for 3 days. If said that far it is painful for me too. I handed out an odom which resembled my face as a substitute for me, but that seems to be useless. Let's go out to see a little bit. But, when I go out of this room, you are going to drag me to hunt as it is, right? Naturally. Is that supposed to be a toss? Over, then, do not you think it's unfair to Giselle? You can play with her after you return from hunting. Hunting will take nearly half a day, right? You said I should come out for Giselle's sake, but is not that something a bit strange? Abel is the one who is strange, trying to close inside your room for 3 days. It is reasonable. I am convinced, but I do not plan to approve of it. By the way, what are doing about toilet? If I said you will take measures, so I will not say, there is no need to worry. If I use the magic of transfer magic, I can move instantaneously to a place where magic circle prepared in advance. In the toilet and this room, I have left odoms with carved magic circle of transfer. My father do not know that I can use transfer magic, which was a high-level magic. I carved magic circle on an old odom which was originally in the toilet. So it will not be noticed so easily. So it should not be exposed. However, if there is no magic power, it will not function as a transfer destination, so I need to go there to recharge magic every 5 hours. A lot of magic power is necessary for the transition, but if it is a distance between the toilet and to my own room, it is enough to replenish magic in regular intervals. With this it should have been perfect, but I seem to have underestimated Giselle's bro-con. I cannot afford to leave that cute little sister crying like that. When father goes hunting, I will go out in the meantime. I decided not to go hunting until you came out today. I am fine by it, but mother will get angry. If you do not want to get scolded by her, then come out. It cannot be helped even if we kept asking questions. I swung the small cane and the magic circle floated in the air. There is no helping it, I will come out after completing this single paragraph, please wait a little. I put magic on odom that I had put on the desk. I picked up that odom and put it in front of my room door. Did you cast a spell now? Please wait a while. The odom's mouth moves and imitates my voice. The gesture moves the odom's mouth and imitates my voice. It is an odom that talks with a special mechanism in its mouth. It was created by arranging the theories written in the chief's library book in my own way. It is a bit off tone, but it cannot be helped because it is a magic circle arranged in a hurry. In order to improve the accuracy and variations of the voice more, fine adjustment is needed. But for now, it could attract my father's attention in front of the door. Father. Sama, where is Giselle now? Giselle is out in the garden now. Mother seems to have gone out to buy in the square, and if it is now toilet will be available. I move to the corner of the room and then shake the small cane and a magic circle floats in the air. I lowered my voice and cast a spell. Light coming out of the cane's edge covers my body. I closed my eyelids due to the dazzling of light. I opened my eyes after a floating feeling and I was inside the toilet. Okay, this will be fine. Let's go to see Giselle. If it's like this I should have let Giselle into my room. My father would get noisy if I made Giselle into a hikikomori life, of these 3 days. But, instead of making her cry, I should have done this from the beginning. Abel. Not yet. From the second floor, my father's voice was heard. Wait a while. You are saying the same thing for a while. Wait a while. I should make it quick. If not the situation may go out of control. Chapter 15. 11. Yrs old, 2, you are listening at novel full.audio. It's been 5 days since I retreated in my room. Although my schedule was off by 2 days, the foundation of the magic that I was about to make was completed. My head was cranky due to lack of sleep, but it was blown away all at once by the excitement coming from the sense of accomplishment. Just because of the excitement I did not feel tiredness or pain, but suddenly my body's strength loosened up and collapsed in the place where I am standing. Strange, my legs will not move. I cannot stand up. Is excessive use of magic and lack of sleep, may be caused by the lack of nutrition. I picked up my small wand that was fallen on the floor and pointed it towards the odom in the corner of the room. In response to the spell, odom moves its body and comes close to me. I dropped my wand and holds the upper part of the odom to stand up. Then I reached out for a small bottle on the desk. What was inside is homemade energy drink. Recently named it Abel's potion. I grabbed the small bottle and crawled on the floor again. After clenching it with my teeth, I got rid of the lid gently. After drinking the contents at once, the energy returned to my body. Still, I can still move. I managed to stand up with the power of Abel's potion. I cannot stop trembling of my feet and hands, but it is a common thing that happens all the time if this is the case. When I grasped my elbow and knee strongly for about 5 minutes, for the time being the trembling stopped. For now, let's celebrate the completion of magic rather than my body. However, what was completed this time is the foundation of the foundation. From here I need to repeat my experiments, fine adjustment, addition of information, application, shortening, etc., are needed to do. However, it will be dangerous to draw over anymore. I do not understand what kind of face my father is making outside. Besides, my body cannot hold on for long. If dead there will be nothing left. My meals were preserved dried bread, fruit of Eve and then Abel's potion alone. Because of that, recently my taste has become strange. Also, somehow the world's color is strange. It seems that my lack of sleeping time is approaching its human limit. Giselle was also got involved. Giselle is getting a good sleep, she may be better than me, but she do not have anything to do and I think that the packed life is painful. Naturally, the meals she took is same as me. It must be painful, right? Rather I feel her skin is shiny than usual, is it due to mind? Note. It's your imagination. Well, let's just report the completion of magic to Giselle for now. Giselle, it's done. As soon as I said, Giselle, who was sleeping in my bed, jumped up and come to the desk. Finally, the magic that Nii.Sama wanted to make more than anything was finally completed. Giselle waved her hands, pata pata, she seemed pleased as if her accomplishment. Ah, there are lots of books that I have referred to, but still, it is my original magic that I made from scratch. Let's also report it to the chief. I want an opinion from him as well. Amazing. If it's Nii.Sama, I thought you could do it someday. But I did not understand simply by listening about that magic technique, so may I see it at once? Of course. I picked up the small wand dropped earlier and swung it. I am not used to imagining this magic circle yet, so it will take a while. While assembling in my brain, I slowly cast it. After the magic circle is completed, I casted a spell. A small panel floats in front of me. Able to Belek Str, Strength. 2 mag, Magical Power. 865. This is. My brother's name is written, but, what on earth is this? It's a status indicator. Well, I had a hard time, because I have to incorporate it all in the magic lines from the display format to the characters. Status. Is it by any chance? Yes, if we use this magic, we can check the muscular strength and magical power of the target. In the end, it would be able to display the tribe name and their strength in the numerical values. It is something that gives brief explanation. For me, when it comes to different world incarnation status indicator is a standard. This cannot be reconciled. If do not have one, it cannot be helped but to make one. If I think about it, it was already 10 years ago that it was disappointing that there was no status. Incidentally, the criterion of the numerical value is both the average adult Marin's value of 20. The result of continuing to make Odom since I was small appeared in my magical power. I am satisfied with it, but I did not think that muscle strength was so little. I want to believe that it is a false numerical value while magically developed by myself. No. But, I am nearly 12 old in this world, maybe it is such a thing, right? As my father says, I will decide to go out to help him hunt for a while. How, you could make something like this? There was a magic to discriminate the strength of magical power by color, and I got a hint from there. Me too, please show my status too. Yoshi, do not move. I pointed my wand towards Giselle and a magic circle floated in the air. This magic circle, it is too fine and difficult to transfer. If I want to increase the amount of information that can be displayed, I have to further improve it. I wonder if it's okay. I wish I had some way to shorten it. It may be better to make a simplified version which easily display muscular strength and magical power. There is still room for improvement. Giselle Bilek, STR, Strength. 8 mag, Magical Power. 37. Although not as much as me, Giselle also has high magical power. The average of adults is set to 20, which is set as the standard. If I think about it, it may be important to touch magic since childhood. My father started practicing magic circles around in his 20s. Marin tribe should let their children start magic practice at an early age. Then they can make the strongest magician army corps and can aim for the world domination. Read Giselle's muscular strength, compared to me, above. After all, Sama have very high magical power. Bov Giselle said that by raising her voice loudly. It seemed rather than excitement, she was trying with all her best to distract me. Giselle also noticed that she has a higher muscle strength value and she was concerning about it. That was hard for me too. But since the general Marin tribe is 20, Giselle's is also high enough. The average of the general Marin tribe is 20. Giselle clouds her expression and mutters in the same way. Stop it, do not look at me with such eyes. Giselle noticed my eyes, she changed her expression quickly. That thoughtfulness is also painful. It was the result of my imitated practice by my brother's side. That's right, I quickly erased the display of the status with my wand. I never thought that I would lose to my little sister in muscle strength by quadruple difference. I endured it. I endured pretty much. I got quite a shock in a while after a long absence. Naturally, it does not mean that Giselle is a gorilla. Perhaps Giselle is almost average. Even when my father invited me to hunt, I kept running around while hiding and by using the theory. Even if I was told to do farming work, Odom had done it all. Other things I have done is none other than retreating in my room and kept on reading magic studies. I do not need much strength in carving Odom. The Marin tribes with carving knife can easily cut and scrap trees using the magical power of the tree around here. Giselle should be similar to me, but she accompanies my mother's shopping and somewhat lives a decent life than I am. Speaking briefly, I'm garbage. Finally came out this stupid son. Do you hate so much to got hunting? When I got out of my room, I got a sermon from my father. My father. Sama was just developing magic. I bet if you also saw the magic that Sama developed. It is not that kind of story. If Father Sama want to get mad at Sama, sometimes instead get mad at me for a change. I also was like being involved with Sama. There is no necessity for that, why? I know that it is more effective for you by scolding Abel alone. Kook, that kind of way. As expected of my father, he understands Giselle well. Giselle, it's okay. I was totally wrong this time. Father Sama, I am terribly sorry, I will never do something like this from now on. You are strangely straightforward, are not you planning something again? Sama, what's happened to you? Sama I know would never easily admit his mistakes regarding magic, that is not like Sama. Did you catch cold again? Note. He got a bigger blow, being weaker than his little sister by strength. Which surpassed his enthusiasm towards magic. I did not expect to be said that far. Usually, what are they thinking about me? No, I understood the importance of hunting, I understood that it is important to move my body and train the body from tomorrow than using Odom to hunt. I will accompany you every day, I am sorry for the inconvenience until now. As she heard my words, Giselle suddenly changed her expression as if relieved. When our eyes meet, Giselle will immediately change her expression. Sama, I think that Sama is a wonderful person as it is. Thank you for your concern. But, as a big brother I cannot forgive myself. If possible, I want her to stop concerning like that. But after this, my declaration will also end again within 3 days. It pampered the body like Giselle's concerns do not affect me, and once again days went back to the war between me and my father, making door as a border. Chapter 16 13. Ys old, 1, you are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 more years passed. I am already 13. Ys old and Giselle is now 11. Ys old. Maybe because I am spending unchanged lifestyle by practicing magic, I feel that time passes quickly if this goes on like this, before noticing I may get older than my previous life. By exhaling air, I started scraping the wood on the odum. Today also I am carving odum in the garden. What I am making now is a 4-armed odum. It is a type of odum that has spherical joints and moves its arms with gakken. When it was finished, probably it could win against a medium-sized monster with its arm force alone. I believe that there are unlimited possibilities in odum. As usual, Giselle is beside me. A few months ago, Giselle started making odums earnestly. As an elder brother, I am worried about whether she might cut her hand with a knife. Of course, I am little happy about my sister's growth. Recently, I am thinking that it's a little bit bad. Maybe it's because of that I was always closed-door practice without interacting with other villagers. I only talked with Chief's family outside my family. Somehow, I recalled the memory of my previous life. At that time, because I was absorbed in black magic, but I did not think that I would do the same in this magic world. Even I say that, I do not mind how the world look at me since I like to practice magic. What makes me worry is that Giselle, who cannot play with other children of the same age because she always stayed beside me. Giselle still cannot sleep fully unless I fall asleep. If this situation continued forever, it might get troublesome. I stopped the hands that carving the odum and looked at Giselle. If Giselle was in Japan, she is at the right age to be graduated from the elementary school. Is not it time for her to graduate from her brother? No, it's too late. What happened, ni? Sama. Suddenly. When you look at my face, I will be a little shy. Oh, I am sorry, I was thinking that it'd been a while, should I carve an odum modeled after you? Let's mislead her with light tone. It is not something that should tell her. I will keep it in mind and lead Giselle like that. Well, that is kinda. Giselle brought her eyebrows and made a bitter smile. She used to be pleased in the past, but now she do not like being made a model of odum. That's to be right. Odum often has fairly ugly faces. What should I say? It seems like that kind of culture. Well, if you make this cylindrical doll into a beauty, it will become even creepier. Before, you would have excited happily when I said the same thing. When I teased her like that, Giselle laughed, Kusuri. At that time Giselle was 2 years old, I thought that she would not have remembered it, but by looking at her it seems like it was in her memory. That's not it, ni-sama. Giselle stood up from the chair like odum and looks at my face like peeping into it. If I were to be model, I thought that ni-sama would watch me. For sure, I am in those days. She took 1 point from me. I never thought, I was overtaken by a 2 years old younger girl. Giselle is a smart child. I am looking forward to her future. At that time ni-sama, honestly you do not have eyes except for odum. Have I become better now? Giselle tilted her neck by placing a hand on her mouth, after showing a state of thinking for about few seconds, returned to normal. It's getting worse, but you started to look at me, for me it is enough as it is. Due to incarnation or because I could not build a decent family relationship in my previous life, I feel like I have drawn a line to my parents and sister. Just because I have many opportunities to contact with Giselle, I could deeply open to her. From my father and mother I am still hiding, and in some cases I am avoiding them. Well, it is mostly because of magic. After a long time, should I follow father for hunting tomorrow? I should not keep avoiding. There is no doubt in this world, because Zerarato is my biological father. A man who does not go hunting at the age of 13. Yrs and only eats meal that was served is except me, there is no other in this village. However, I am helping farm work with the use of odum. If they allowed the use of odum for hunting, I think that I can contribute quite a bit, but, well, I will not say that. I don't know, it just may be whimsy. I will go hunt tomorrow. Finally, Father Sama also finally started giving up. Such a thing, it is not like me. Sama. Giselle puffs her cheeks. She do not want to be left behind and may be sulking a little. She is a cute little sister. Isn't it nice, leaving hunting? I like my older brother who is absorbed in magic, and before I used to be jealous of odum. Giselle, while saying, she grabs the half-carved odum, holds it and stabs with the knife's tip. Cora, if you say such a thing, the feelings will be shaken. Do not disturb my determination. The knife of Giselle stabbed it straight in the eyes part, which it stabbed into odum. By making a noise, its eyes peeled off. She was jealous of odum before a long time ago, right? Ni. Sama, when we measured your muscle strength was 4, right? Now if you start hunting it cannot be helped, right? But it's fine, because Ni. Sama does not have to do such savage things. I am saying this, so there is no mistake. While saying, Giselle comes closer to my face. The tip of our noses slightly touched. Perori, Giselle give out her tongue like a mischief. Oh, it may be so. When I gave her a half-baked answer, Giselle gets back with a satisfied face. I dug a little too much, it's difficult, right? I should scrape it again and make a face. Giselle, while saying, rubbed the part of odum's eye with her thumb. As I thought, Giselle need to get mature from older brother. I strongly recognized it now. For the time being, I will go hunt tomorrow and let Giselle take care of the house. After a long time, I put the odum that I had on the ground, pick up a small wand instead. I will wave the small wand towards the red odum at the end of the garden. The red odum glowed lightly and fell down onto the ground. At the same time, the surrounding space shakes a little. That red odum is a special odum for the barrier. During training I put the odum for the barrier to the 4 corners of the garden and developed the barrier of recognition inhibition. My father gave up on me, because the existence of this barrier of recognition perception is great. Chapter 17. 13. Ys old, 2, you are listening at novelfull.audio. When I asked my father to take me to the hunting for the first time in a long while, he was overjoyed. I can't believe, you get so full of yourself. Well, that's fine. From now on you put magic training aside and put more effort on hunting. Tone is a little strict, but voice is delight. He is an easy to understand person. With Giselle's crying my magic barrier double combo, my father seemed to have given up on me, but looking at him now he seemed to not given up yet. Incidentally, the matter of hunting this time is secret from Giselle. Now Giselle went to village square shopping with my mother. If she knows that I am going to hunt, I'm sure she will throw tantrums saying that she want to go with me. Regarding that point, I talked over with my father about various points, but I finally settled down by saying it will be fine. In my previous life there is a saying that led to smelly things. This word seems scary, but just follow the flow. My father takes out a bow from the storeroom and sweeps dust. He replaced the string with new one and handed it over to me. Apparently the string seemed to be out of date. That's to be expected. Last time I used the bow was a few years ago. This bow is something that I made when you were born, thinking that it would be useful in the future. It seems that he want me to walk the hunting path as well, my father said to me as he replacing string. As says that, a little guilt wells up in my heart. After all, this person is my father of this world. From now on I will change my heart and practice archery and martial arts. In my previous life I failed by focusing magic alone. It's my second life. Let's use the reflection points of the previous life. Besides that, as I am now, my sister Giselle can beat me easily. We have never actually fought with each other, but it is clear from our status of muscle strength values. That's totally pathetic. The dignity as an older brother is bad. I will graduate it from magic madness and live life earnestly. I resolute myself as do not know how many times I did it in the past. This time hunting will be conducted jointly with the family of father's acquaintance Artie's family. Muscular and shiny man, Gallia Artie. Then his son, Shibi Artie. Shibi is a small dot-sized man who seems to be weak. He is below 1 year 12 years old. From my point of view, they are an acquaintances of the extent to which the faces was matched several times when the ritual ceremonies. It seems that Abel will also come to hunt in a long time. As you know, Abel was not hunting lately and there is a blank, so he may drag us down, but take care of him. By saying that my father said to Gallia and bows his head. As he says that, I feel sorry to him somehow. Because, now my muscle strength is 4. I tried to target an Odom and shot the arrow after a long time, but it surprised me to the extent none hit the target. I've been making Odoms since I was young, so I'm pretty confident about my hand's dexterity, but my muscle strength is lacking. Without muscular strength, not to mention flight distance, I cannot even fly the arrow straight. I think that it will cause you inconvenience, but thank you for your guidance, please take care of me. I also lined up with my father and lower my head to Gallia. Haha, if I look at you like this, you are a level-headed child. Because Zir always held his head, I thought you would be more like a grasshopper, but you seem much more decent than I was young. Gallia laughed and rubbed his beard, while saying so. Then I looked to Shibi. Hein, why should I with someone like him? Shibi by saying that he clicked his tongue. I thought he was weak with his unreliable looks with his short size, but he said it now. I want to hit him by spin my head with both hands right away, but I beard it with my own standpoint. Note. Here comes Ippo. Shibi is just a cheeky 12-years-old child. I should just laugh at this and forgive him. To be honest, I will drag them down, and for Shibi point of view it will not be fun as it is. Moreover, it is expected that I will lose by a great margin by muscle strength, so it would be better not bashfully throw fight from my side. If I try to spin my head, there is a danger of being beaten down on the ground. Note. Counter on Dempsey roll. What is it, do you have any complaints? While saying Shibi, he deflects his eyes when our meet eyes. Oh, is this intimidation? Due to his appearance many will look down on him, so he may have got the habit of showing strong self. No, please take care of me, Shibi. By saying that, I showed my hands to seek a handshake. Shibi might have thought that I would beat him. He shook his shoulders sharply and nervously. When he noticed it was a handshake, his face went bright red and made an angry face. He turned other side. I made a wry smile while expressively showing my expression and then pulled out my hand. Shibi looks at my face and gnaws his teeth all the way. Well, that's a nice face. Boy, do not look down on me. Cora, Shibi. Do not take that kind of attitude. Sorry, Abel. Gallia apologizes to me by scratching his head. Alright, I won. I won psychologically. Even though I look like this, I do not like losing. Father, I, Gallia and Shibi, 4 of us leave the settlement and proceed to the forest. Abel, you should already know, you should not use magic. This is also to train archery and physical fitness. I do not have much meaning to train archery, but this time I will swallow these words. If it is in front of Gallia, it also leads to crushing my father's face. And also I want to train my physical strength. Yes, I know, Father. Sama. That's why, see, I have left my cane behind. Good, as I always say it, archery is our pride of Marin. Tribe. Come to think of it, by Chief. Sama sayings, it seems that the Marin tribe were proud of doing hunting by magic, Father. Sama. Those that cannot use magic were using the bow, but the ratio changed rapidly starting from the end of the Big War, and that number was reversed in the last few decades ago, it seems. Please absolutely do not say that archery is proud in front of the chief. Sama. He get angry. No matter what, I cannot say that, even if my mouth is torn. I have a desire to say a bit, but I cannot say it absolutely. Chapter 18. 13. Yrs old, 3, you are listening at novel full. Audio. Hugo. Fugo. A black wild boar rushes towards us. It seems to be a monster called Nigumu boar. Shoot it, Abel. My father yells, but my fingertips are trembling and cannot aim properly. Even if you say that to shoot it. Even if you told. To shoot a boar that rushes towards me. Are these barbarians? It's obvious that it's impossible. Because, my fingertips are trembling with fear. In the first place, I do not feel like hitting it even in a normal state. If I missed, my body will receive the tackle of that boar. If I got hit with my current body, it is over with a single blow. You. If I cannot attract it a bit more, I cannot hit it with my power. However, if it gets close, I will lose my cool and my fingers will start trembling. Since the fingers shake, I cannot air properly. It was truly the worst circle. I want to go home already. Oi, draw it more. Galya.san, if you have time to say such things, please shoot. I cannot draw any more. I do not have the power. It is a magical power swing constitution. R8-tsu. I released my hand from the arrow with a burning sensation. The arrow hits the boar's ear and fly backwards. Hurry up and ready next one. Do not waste time. Damn it. Damn it. As I thought, I will never come to hunt anymore. Envy that I took another arrow from the quiver carrying on the shoulder and hook it on the bowstring. I turned the arrow towards wild boar. I tried my best and pulled the arrow. It hurt as if my muscle became numb. I really want to go home already. I shoot the arrow at the moment my hand stopped shaking. The arrow flew straight and stuck in the boar's nose. I did it, I hit it. Fugo. The wild boar does not stop at all. What is that, a monster's? Yua. At the same moment when I showed my back to the wild boar, my father went forward and released an arrow. The arrow pierced the eyes of a wild boar. Fugo. When the wild boar gave an opening, my father stands in front of the boar. And he pushes the arrow stuck in the eyes with his bare hands. The wild boar fell down on the scene after series of convulsion of the body. No, I think it was a good move, but if you use bare hands, I can use magic. If I do not use magic now, when should I use? To make a fire. Or at the time of ceremony. If I am in such a condition, chieftain will cry. It seems to be too early for Abel. It seems to be too soon, you should not say that. I hit it but it did not stop. Obviously, it is not something I should face at my level. My father was not thinking of letting me to take down wild boar from the start. He must have thought about placing me in my place, who my father was not thinking of letting me down the wild boar from the edge. I must have thought about taking little revenge on me, who was doing as I please. My father makes a proud face and swings his head to the left and right. Patience. I have decided so that I should set my father. Strange, pitiful guy. Shibi said in a low voice. This brat, he said it with a low voice so that I could barely hear it. Can you hunt that? I cannot imagine Shibi hunting Nigumu boar. No, I have to be patient. I touched the arms that swollen. My muscles are screaming because I pulled strings a little while ago. My legs are about to get tired. Excuse me, can I go home? It's been an hour since we started hunting. I kept walking for an hour. When I think about way home, I am already reaching my limits. If I keep walking any more than this, It will interfere with the growth of the growing season. Please do not say something that hard to understand, so let's move forward. The matter of post-acceptance of hunting this time, I will tell Giselle that Father-Sama was fault in a bad way. Stop it. Really stop it. Looking at my and father's interaction, Shibi laughs with his nose. You are older than I am still fine, so if you go home, you can return home alone, weakling. Although I responded with a smiley face, I pledged to my heart that someday to do revenge as much as possible within the range where my position will not get worse. Oi Shibi, do not show your childish side and make me shame. Look, see that grown-up attitude of Abel Nii. What's going on, father from a while ago? Gallia shook his head sideways as if he was amazed. It's fine, tell him more. But, Ni-chan also it would be better for you to put on your physical strength a bit even if it is somewhat impossible. Right. I am, until now a close-in. I will worry about what to do from tomorrow on, if it is done hard from the first day. Even though it is just here that morale has halved by Shibi's hostility and my father's proud face. Doyageo equals proud face. After a while we went through the forest, we heard the sound of rustling leaves. Shimuparat. It is quite smart and pretentious, but it has a lot of fat and it's quite delicious. When I looked up, there are yellow birds on the high branches. It was quite a plentiful bird. I am sorry to say it, but it looks a bit like Shibi. That's why the sounds of branch gets broken and the leaves sound. Only in the vicinity of its eyes are black and few red line patterns are on the body. It has a bit curved beak and gaudy appearance. It was a fat impression. I wonder if such a bird is really militant. Shibi raises his hand. Oh me, I will do it. Ho, do it. Shibi who got permission from Gallia looks at me like he triumphant after holding a bow over his head. Look at Shimuparat instead of me. I do not know if it runs away because of that. Shibi aims and shoots an arrow towards Shimuparat. The arrow scratched the wing and stuck into the tree. He missed. I made a guts pose secretly. Shimuparat twisted its neck a lot, turned its eyes towards the direction of the arrow and found Shibi. Damn it. It's because I never targeted at this angle. I can get used to it. Shibi took another arrow and aimed at the Shimuparat. Shia. Shimuparat kicked the branch and descended straight down. It is obviously aiming for Shibi in front of it. It is fast despite its figure. And it is militant. Despite being targeted by arrows, never thought that there are birds which would rush without running away. Take this. Take this. Shibi releases a second and third arrow. Shimuparat dodges that with a hair's breadth and closes the distance. It predicted the fourth shot and dealt with by kicking off the tree branch and accelerated again. That bird is strong. It's fine, do it more Shimuparat. AAA UAAWO. Fifth and sixth shots will fly in wrong directions. Shibi is useless. He is completely collapsed. Shimuparat is tough to take down if you miss the first shot. Remember it well, even I also got hurt by my arms. By saying that Gallia took out a knife and tackles shivering Shibi and confronts Shimuparat. But, this guy is pretty quick among Shimuparat. Since it comes to this far, it is easy to hit it with knife. Also, if you make a mistake your meat will be scooped out, so be careful if you mimic it. In this way, Shimuparat which was rewarded a lot for Shibi will be made dinner for today. I gently raised my hand and turned my hand towards Shimuparat. Draw a light, I casted magic circle in the air and turns my finger towards Shimuparat. Sleep, with a glow Shimuparat loses its momentum which opened its large mouth and closes in towards Gallia-san with fast speed. Here it is, ah. Gallia who swung his knife widely pierced the knife to the tree nearby. I walked to the Gallia-san side and picked up the Shimuparat that fell down on the ground. Shimuparat opens its beak bluntly and is sleeping deeply. Magic seems to work very well. Did you learn such a magic? The mental interference system is the fastest way to deal with opponents who are not tolerant to magical power, was what Chief Sama said. I thought that my father could use about this much, but by looking at his reaction maybe he cannot use it. The mental interference system is said to be somewhat difficult to control. It is said to be a magic that makes it difficult for you to get bad at the discretion of yourself. Rather than manipulating the fire and moving the odom, it becomes a magic of several steps above. Galya puts his feet on the tree trunk and pulls out the knife. Then scratching his head, he made a bitter smile. It's nice that you support me, but the timing is not a bit mean. Even so, I never thought that one could put the sleeping magic exactly on the fast-moving target in such high speed. Nah, Zir, as I thought, don't you think Abel needs archery? But, magic is something that depends on mental state. I cannot let him depend on something that unstable. To stabilize that there is magic training, Father Sama. Besides, archery also influenced by feelings. Current Shibi is the good example. Besides, the magic a moment ago, it do not have long range. With a proper cane, the distance and accuracy are much higher than the bow. More than anything, archery is a pride of the Marin tribe. It is not good for something that you cannot afford to face. Please do not absolutely say it in front of Chieftain. This is probably due to feelings and values. Rather than logic. The child does not correct the parent's values. Even if poorly pointing out, my father will not be satisfied just because I will be scolded. It's my mind just for a moment. It is also important, but only to keep it silent. In the first place, hunting this time is to train Abel's physical strength. It is reasonable. There is no refutation. My father turns toward me and pushes the index finger. Mataku, I said so much that not to use magic. Listen, Galya and Shibi are not accompanying you for your magic training. At first it was my father who was stunned watching my magic, but the tongue has come around, the voice grows steadily. I recent feels that my father is most lively when he scolds me. Just as I thought, I will tell Giselle this and that and make his heart broken at least once. I'm sorry, I do not want to kill this Shimuparat because I really liked it, so I want to keep it. Is it okay to keep it? Then in order to miss my knife did you aim and slow it down? Galya opens his eyes and says so while looking at his own knife. I have made the odoms 3 days and 3 nights. I intend to concentrate more than anyone else. Because muscle strength is poor, it is not reflected in archery, but magic depends on spirit rather than physical body. I can demonstrate my concentration abilities as it is. No, it is a coincidence. No, coincidence, a while ago. I will look away from Galya and turn to my father. So, is it useless? But the meat of Shimuparat. Well, I do not care, you should take care of it yourself. My father seemed to want to say that he wanted to eat Shimuparat, but for the time being he gave me permission. I wanted to keep this Shimuparat by all means. Its movements are cool and weak, but I can feel the magic power in it. Beyond pets, it may be useful for something. I wanted to make a practical chimera, not just a mouse with a lot of neck or a chicken that could fly. Chapter 19. 13. Old, 4, Part 1, you are listening at novelfull.audio. 3 hours have passed since hunting started. I am already, my feet shaking. My knees are aching. I cannot hold it. I want to go home. I am sweating a lot. Absolutely I do not have physical strength to go home. I am sure, I will die on the way back. Giselle, I was wrong. I do not need muscle strength. There was absolutely no need for archery. I am good enough only with magic. Father Sama, cannot turn back already. I asked my father while wiping my sweat on my forehead. Leaving affordable monsters to you too. We have little game, prey, today. We will return after hunting next prey. What? If you say that we have little results, I would like you to let me use magic. After luring monsters with magic, I can take them down with a single trap magic. This 3-hour work ends in an instant. It is impossible. On the way, I do not have enough physical strength to return home. I surely will die. If I was able to return home safely, I will erase the muscle strength stat from the status of magic circle. If you let me roast that Shimuparat, we can return right now. No way, I already gave it a name. In the near unconsciousness, I answered. Ho, why? Do not you think this Shimuparat resembles Shibi? There. Why, you. Now, what did you say? I will kill you. Shibi grabs my collar. It's useless, my consciousness is getting thin, I just talked about what I was thinking. Kora, Shibi, keep it around that, but it's true. I hate it because it's true. Galya.san laughed while taking the side spear, but Shibi keeps mumbling but not stopping. As I thought he was conscious of that. At the same time, a loud noise was heard. The sound did not stop and was continuing with dawn, and the interval between sounds became shorter. Galya breaks the smile and holds his bow. Hey, this isn't a greater bear. It's bad. The footsteps are big. I never have heard of such big footsteps. Abel take Shibi and run away. I and Galya will stop it in its track, run at full speed. What? I and Shibi's voiced at the same time. It's not funny, Father. Sama, I cannot run anymore, rather than I take Shibi away, Shibi needs to carry me. Father. I will fight. Do not lump me with this guy. This guy, at a time like this. Is he had any grudge against me? That's right, since I compared him with Shimuparat earlier and made an indirect resentment. If you have time to talk about something like that, hurry up and get away from here. When the Galya shouted at the same time, the tree collapsed in front of us. A huge bear appeared with a physique close to 4 meters from behind the tree. That bear knocked down the tree. It has no black eyes, instead white eyes. Its mouth was big, and as if its mouth is melting, its saliva was drooling down. It has a smiling face, but there is nothing cute. Rather than being a beast, it seemed to be a category of yukai. Gwa-da-ha-ha-ha. Its roar sounded like a laugh. Oh, this is a dangerous one. Characters fighting while laughing are strong characters. No doubt about it. I knew it when I read Shonen Jump. Hi, no. Shibi loosed his back and sat down on the spot. As for this, it can't be helped. I cannot laugh at him or to blame. It is such a situation. I also probably did so if the mental age was around 12 years old. Please Abel. Take Shibi and run away. BDNV. Galya shoots an arrow. It was supposed to have cleanly penetrated the eye of Greater Bear, but it was flicked by the blink. The arrowhead did not get stuck in the eyelids. Gwa-ha-ha-ha. As I suspected with my eyes. That sharp metal could not penetrate such a thin skin. Listen carefully, by any chance we did not return, please report to the chief that a big greater bear appeared. Father, that. Shibi keeps crying on the ground and tears are accumulated in his eyes. That I cast a magic circle in the air and aimed my finger towards Greater Bear. It was said that magic is not used, but now it will be another story. Sleep, the light emitted from my fingertip captures the head of the Greater Bear. Gwa-ha. Greater Bear kneels on the spot. I felt relieved and made a sigh. Chapter 19. 13.YRS Old, 4, Part 2, you are listening at novelfull.audio. 13.YRS Old 4, Part 2, Greater Bear, kneels on the spot. I feel relieved and sigh. No, it's good. Abel. My father's voice sounds, I raise my face. Greater Bear got up and jumped towards me. My magic did not affect it fully. The magic of the mental interference type is hard to affect with those with magic power. I let my guard down just by seeing it on the knees. It was a foolish mistake in judging because there was no actual experience. Ah! I stepped back, but there is no time. Greater Bear moved to the front of me and shook the nail with a big swing. We'll be killed. The moment I thought so, my father pushed me. I threw the bow and shimopurat in my hands and rolled and stopped by a tree by hitting it. I managed to get my upper body up and saw in front. My father spurt blood from his belly and fallen. My father became my substitute and received the blow by Greater Bear. At first sight, my father's injury is quite deep. I do not know how long he could hold on. Treatment is necessary for him right now. Vaguely, I remembered about my magician father who was killed in my past life. F.A. Father. Sama. Greater Bear stands in front of my fallen father. Gwa ha ha. Come over here, you big head. Gallia takes out a ball wrapped in cloth from the pocket and throws it to the ground. The ball cracked and smoked a strange smell. Greater Bear transfers its interest to Gallia and rushes to him. Apparently, that ball seems to be a tool to draw monsters with a smell. I ran over to my father and raised his shoulder. Father. Sama, hang in there. My father lifts his hand weakly and touches the scar of his belly. He took the blooded hand in front of his face, opened his eyes thinly, then laughed without strength. He probably noticed that the wound was deep. Then my father tightens his face and sees me. I have never been able to show you a figure that looks like a father. No such thing. Such a thing, please stop this way of saying like it's the end. Abel, a lot of times I was angry because you do not listen to what I said. But you were a clever boy. There were times when you asked something, but almost it was like a confirmation. When I look at your facial expression, it was uneasy. Therefore, I also had a prosperous appearance. Sometimes I was idle. After scolding, I also knew that you had hidden facial expressions that you were amazed with it. I did not know what to do. My father shakes his head faintly. My father was worried in his own way. Dioviko, I have memories of the previous life. There was a part of me that did not recognize Zeraroto as my father. Like some created thing, maybe I thought like that. However, there is no such thing. My father was happy when I was born and he was suffered seriously with every single move. Everything that I thought was able to hide it was all clumsy. Zeraroto is indeed my father. Although I often thought absurdly, I did not think that was the reason, but finally I felt like I understood it with my own feeling. It's not that I have no regrets, at least I wanted to see you being a groom and Giselle's being a bride, but at the very least I am glad that I could do something like a father. Blood fells from the father's shivering loose lips. Red. Black blood. It is an evidence that internal organs are damaged. Take Shibi and run away, Abel. I cannot last long. Take care of Giselle and mother. Ah, I see. I felt like my father would come back if magic was found to exist. So, that's why I kept clinging to magic for a long time in my past life. In this world, even with magic losing my father, I will not let such a foolish thing. Like this, I do not know the reason why I have trained magic until now. I got up and stared at the Greater Bear. Gallia receives the attack of the nail of Greater Bear with his knife. The blade of the knife breaks and the fingers of Gallia who grabbed the knife bend to distortion. Nevertheless, Gallia was confronting Greater Bear. Gallia casts a spell and made a floating magic circle and attacked the face of Greater Bear with flame spears. Greater Bear scratches it off by using its nails. By seeing that, it seems that the attack on surface will not damage it. While Gallia was casting the spell, it stopped attacking. Greater Bear seemed to be playing with us by knowing we are below its level. I will not run away by leaving my father alone. Oi, Abel. Greater Bear is sturdy so that the eyelids do not pass through the arrows. Even so, I have magic. That I used all my magic in me. I never tried to use all my magic at once. There is a danger of exploding and I do not have confidence in my control. In addition, wasting magic power reduces the amount of time I can practice. But right now, I use as much magic power as I can. Still, I do not think I can defeat such a stubborn monster. However, I just want the power that can let the greater bear surprised by it and escapes. I took my time to draw a magic circle in the air. Attacking normally on greater bear's sturdy skin is useless. I will use every knowledge I have and remodel my existing magic circle and release it with maximum power. However, I have never heard of development of magic circle during battle. Originally the magic circle is that the magician strives to improve the performance by multiplying the months and days. Although it is a partial adjustment according to the situation this time, the risk of failing if it is done in a short time is high. However, even if I hit it with existing magic, I do not think it will get through the greater bear. What I use is magic that cuts with wind blades. In my hand, this should have the most power at the moment. I changed the magic circle greatly from existing ones, decided to devote all the magical power used for control to strengthening the power, and to make the blade of the wind thin to the limit. I do not know how much it will be enough to do this. It has such a strong skin. Until now, greater bear may not have suffered a decent damage. If so, if it gets scratched no matter how small, it may flee and run away. It is a wishful thinking, but I have no choice but to bet on it. Father! Shibi shouts in pain. Greater Bear was just reaching for the neck of the Gallia who lost his consciousness. Bad, I will not make it. Gallia.san will be killed. Gua.ha ha ha. Ha. At that time, Greater Bear trembled its body like it felt something and stopped moving. The expression of Greater Bear changed. Thin squat is opened, it stands up. The expression of laughter changes to the face of anger. Then, it lowered its posture and aligned its eyes with mine. Gaga. For some reason Greater Bear seemed to be excited abruptly. He shook his head and raised his cries and jumped over to me. It is a tremendous speed. Unlike before, it's like a different way. On the way, it broke the trees touching its arms. It did not even slow down. Wind. Elephant blade, I turn my hands towards the Greater Bear. Please, please withdraw with this. Gaha. For a moment, I felt like hearing the cry of Greater Bear. The dirt smoke gets rolled, covering the whole area. I cover my eyes with my arms. Greater Bear does not jump in. I felt relieved when I thought I managed to get rid of it. Undot. When the clouds were cleared, there were trees lined cut cleanly at a height. It is not one or two. At least, it seems that 50 of them have been cut. I have never used my full magic. No way, I did not expect it to be far. Ah. The lower body of Greater Bear was just standing there along the trees that were cut. Obviously it was an overkill. Potento, the lower body of Greater Bear collapses as if it had fulfilled its role. I only feel overkill. Air. It was a good feeling now. Did I do everything when I was fighting life and death match with Greater Bear? Honestly, if it is like this I may have let Greater Bear to sleep normally by putting more power into it. No, this is okay. Nod. What is this feeling that I cannot quite understand?